Hey, Shalom, Akim Shalom. First thing and foremost, I want to give all praises and glory and honor that's due to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem Rakakadash. Double honors unto the apostles and elders of Great Millstone. Peace and blessings and salutations to the hopeful elect. It's the priest Mahalaya coming back with another lesson through the Spirit. This was interesting, man. I was looking in a group chat and I found this comment or this comment here based on, it's called telegony. All right, when a woman basically sleep with more than one man and they in-house the DNA of another man. Hence, why women are pretty much agents, or they are commodes of confusion. Okay, they are the embodiment of confusion. And this is the reason why mainly the westernized women have the most problems pair bonding with any man. And this proves it right here. And if you don't believe me, look up telegony. Okay. And if you do look it up, have an open mindset to it, because one thing I found out about the Western female, as my man Black Ram say, call them females, is they're very unaccountable for their actions. Okay. Usually when you bring a woman up on charges and you expose her wickedness and her folly, oftentimes the attention is diverted back towards you. The fingers are pointed at you for the reason why they've made certain decisions, instead of being a woman and owning up into, their evil and their wickedness and fully repenting. But even with that being said, it's always some type of excuse. Even if they are caught in the act or admit that they're wrong, they still feel like you're supposed to accept their filthy rags back. And if you don't, then you're less than a man, because you chose not to take on the stench of their fucked up nature, man. Okay, which we don't have to do that. It comes a time that everybody has to grow and realize their mistakes. But a lot of times you women's mistakes are really self-inflicted. Okay, you wonder why you in and out of relationships. You have all these different child fathers, you running around the streets, etc. It's because you gave yourself that self-inflicted wound by not being in order. It's just that simple. Find a man you like, submit to him, and do what you're told, and you will have less problems. Things will work out. But I guess that's easier said than done, okay? Because women choose to be hoes and sluts and club hoppers and dancers instead of wives, daughters, and servants. It's so much easier to be a thought because they want to appease to these men out here. Okay, that's why I tell brothers now, if you're gonna deal with a woman, get you a woman of the world. I mean, you already know what it is. I mean, you'd rather have a woman of the world than deal with a woman that's in the truth, because women that know the truth are the worst ones, because they try to teach you and usurp authority over you, which the scriptures say that's what you're not supposed to do. But you deal with a woman of the world, you really don't have any attachments to her. You know what I'm saying? I mean, she's just really a concubine, and it's just something to really pass your time, because there's nothing really you can do with it for real. But then again, you're going to have some women of the world that's going to convert and be saved, deal with brothers, because for one thing, a lot of them are honest. Like you may have a woman that may have been a whore or prostitute, and she was honest with that man about, how she did things and how she really wants to change her life. But she has to show you that she really wants to change. You can't just do lip service. You have to really put forth and change your life and, own up to your mistakes and do what you can do. Because the Lord said harlots have a better chance in making it to the kingdom of heaven than some of you people, than some of you women in the truth, which those harlots were actually prostitutes, man. That was honest prostitutes. Now, we're not saying going out there and be a prostitute. Of course, you don't want to do that. But overall, you're going to have some worldly chicks that's going to make it based on how they feel and how subservient they were to brothers. Okay. But anyway, it says it's called Chimerism and telegony. It says once a man's semen enters into her birth canal, it gets into her blood and flows to her brain. This alters her mood cycle. Bipolar is a heavy mental illness that's plagued among the modern day woman. Most women you deal with, they deal from extreme bipolar disorder, or what they call, borderline personality disorder. And why is that? Because they've had different men's specimens that enter into their vagina, all right, and down their mouth and down their throat. and that DNA, it attaches to them. And this is the reason why the Most High was strictly very strict about women only dealing with one man their whole life, because he understands the nature of this characteristic. The Lord created man and woman, so he understands us to the T. Okay, the Lord didn't just say, well, you got to have one man your whole life just to oppress you or make you feel like, oh, you're less than. No, 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 no. The Lord did it because this shit here, and it brings confusion. Like a priest is supposed to have a virgin, okay, because she's supposed to be conjoined to him for her entire life. All right. On this side, we don't have virgins. And this is the reason why I did the video on feminism earlier, is taught the woman to mentally and physically destroy themselves while being entitled and single baby mamas at the same time. It's like if you're a single baby mother, you can't really be entitled at that point. At that point, you really need to be grateful to even be dealing with anybody, because a lot of times being a single mother, I mean, yeah, it's a bad reflection on the mother and father, but a lot of times the women cause that single mother shit too, because they rather get government assistance and they rather put the man out or commit adultery on the man or have they so-called liberty to do as they please, so they can have the pride to ratify the fact that, oh, I got my own, I don't need nobody. A woman would throw a man out the house just to prove she don't need no man to take care of her kids. Like, that's the most dumbest shit in the world. And it's proven that kids need both mothers and fathers. All right. And, you know, some brothers don't have the fortune to really deal with their kids like they like to do due to situations such as. But, you know, that's just the way that the Lord has it set up. But in due time, everything will be put back in its proper order. All right. Because the shit is really getting old. But this really stood out. It says this alters her mood, cycle, and personality is why women tend to act like the men they've imitate for some time. Right. That's what they mean by putting your vibration on a woman. When she attempts to do things as you do, when she has a combative spirit, because men are really combative by nature. That's our nature. Okay, we're forceful by nature. So a lot of times the act of aggression is due to all these different specimens that's swimming inside these women's vaginas, soon to be their brains. You know, it's like somebody takes over the wheel. It says they've been intimate with for some time. It says those things just don't go away. It says, with that being said, it's up to each man to make the choice of whether he wants to contend with that or not. And if you women have half a decent spirit or half of any type of humbleness to your spirit, you will actually look at this and be ashamed of yourselves and really come to grips with what the hell you were doing. Come to terms with why your situations are in shambles the way it is. You have to look at yourself. Okay, you can't blame everybody for what you've done. You chose to open your legs and get on your knees and play Miss Libertage. You chose to do that. Nobody put a gun in your head and say, well, go out there and sleep with multiple men. Well, I thought that's what I had to do. Come on, man. Anybody with a conscience knowing that penis hopping is not a good thing. You know, even in different relationships, man, it's just like, okay, you break up with one man, you get with another. You break up with him, you get with another. And all that build up, that toxicity that's in your spirit due to the several failed marriages that you've had. Now it becomes another burden to another man. And you mad at him because he chooses not to deal with it anymore. No, you're the problem. You the fuck up, not the man. You know? And you got to really come to grips with yourselves on that. Because what Yahushua tell a woman? He said, go and get your husband. She said, my Lord, I don't have a husband. He said, thou hast surely spoken, I have no husband. He said, you have 5 husbands. All right. Meaning that he basically called her a whore. Now, they could have been widowed, but come on, man. I mean, she had the fortunate to lose 5 husbands in one lifetime. Don't really make sense. But, you know, she set the niggas up. But nonetheless, she was sleeping around. She was jumping. Basically, she was jumping rod to rod. And this is why the scriptures say you're supposed to be with one man your whole entire life. OK, and this should be an eye opener for you women in the truth. And for you women that tune in to watch these videos from time to time, you really have to examine yourself, man. OK, ask yourself, is it everybody else's fault or is it really your fault? The reason why you can't pair bond. OK, because honestly, we coming into the time now. We're not taking any shit off you women, bro. I'm not, you know, we're not taking any less than. We at the point now. We at the end. Hey, men, we're looking at ourselves in a better light. I refuse to lower my vibration to deal with somebody that want to blame me for their mistakes, you know, when they were already ruined to begin with. I just so happens to take on the ruined nature, which took away from what the fuck I'm supposed to be doing. And so we have to ask ourselves, hey, what do you want to deal with? Do you want to deal with a headache? Okay, because this is an unfixable situation unless the Spirit of the Lord is really dealing. But in most times, women that's in this predicament, they don't want the Spirit of the Most High on them. They want to continue to live these ways. So therefore, hey, so be it. But I got a couple of precepts here. A couple of precepts going into adultery, man. Mark 10 and 12, it says, and if a woman should put away her husband and be married to another, she committed adultery. Because women, they can't put away their husbands. They can't tell their husbands, I'm leaving you now. If you come to an agreement that she's like, well, you know, I don't want to deal with this shit no more for whatever reason. Maybe it want to be because she wants to focus on the career. She may want to hang out with her male, female friends. She may want to hop on a cot carousel. Who knows what the true intentions are. But overall, if she even gives another guy any form of eye contact, or I ain't gonna be that goddamn frivolous on it. I'm gonna just say if she gives a man subconsciously her interest, even if she turned the guy down, but she still kind of thinks about it, then she just committed adultery in her mind. If you go that far, you might as well just fully commit adultery. You know what I'm saying? This is why it's very essential that we have to be careful on what we do. All right. I want to go back to that Ezekiel. I typed in husband. Because these women, man, they're totally out their minds. All right. So this is the book of Ezekiel 16 and 32. It says, but as a wife that committed adultery, which taketh strangers instead of her husband. Okay. Even though this is talking about Israel and the other nations, because we committed adultery on the Most High. Let's break it down on the ABC terms. All right. Adultery 101 for dummies, I call it. All right. It says, but as a wife that committed adultery, which taketh strangers instead of her husband, they give gifts to all whores, but thou givest gifts to all thy lovers, and hirest them that they may come unto thee on every side for thy whoredom, man. And like I said, this is going into Israel committing fornication with other gods, but still, this is the same thing with our women, because Israel was referred to as a comely woman. You see what I'm saying? And hey, man, the scriptures tell you, dealing with the brawling woman, okay? And a lot of that brawling shit comes from they can't pair bond, you know, because they're naturally chaotic by nature. But overall, man, when they dealing with all these different dudes, they'll break up with you and then fuck around for some months and then come back into your life. And it's even worse than last time, because now you got to think about it. Damn, I've been away for this bitch 6-7 months. What's she been doing? I know she ain't just sat in the house and wait on me to pop back up, especially when you got your own shit, your own job. You take pride in your own life. You know goddamn well you out here sticking and moving, man. Okay, it makes sense for you to not do it because you got the liberty to do so. Okay, just like if you have a particular dog that's in the house and it wants to get outside, if you leave the door open, the fucking dog is gonna run out the fucking house. Only how the dog is tamed is if you have it on a damn leash. And I mean, and I hate to say it, but you got to watch these women, man. You got to keep tabs on them. But even then, you can't even do that, because now it becomes to the point that it becomes borderline fucking psychotic. So I'll say it like this, man. You just got to let people do what they want to do. You know, we can't stop shit in this setup. We have been stripped of our power, and they know that. So therefore they do it and they spit in our face with it. But there will be a remedy for all this shit. Okay, because the Most High is bringing everything full circle. When it says your sins will find you out, hey, a lot of people are going to be faced with the decisions they've made over the course of this time, man. And those of you that dealt with brothers in his faith, that played them, that slept around on them, that deliberately caused separation so you can go out there and live your fucking life, the Most High is going to bring all that into your recollection, and you're going to eat those actions, man. All right? A lot of you are getting jacked up right now, but you're just too proud to see it. This is a serious thing here, man. You can't pair bond with men. You can't do it because you've made ruinous choices. And when the ruinous choices are brought before you, you have a problem with it. And that's where the offense comes in at. So you can't be mad if somebody chooses not to deal with your folly, man. Okay? Because they've woken up and finding out the worth of Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai because you rejected it. That's not our problem. That's your problem. You have to deal with it. Because the scriptures say, Hey, does your belief, roughly paraphrasing, make the faith of the Most High a lie just because you don't believe what we're saying? Do that means we're lying? No, fuck you. You don't have to believe anything we say. Okay, but we understand that we're speaking the truth and facts. Let me find another precept here. Damn, come on, man. Brawling woman said, I would rather be in the house, be living in the corner of a rooftop. Proverbs 25 and 24. Matter of fact, let's start at Proverbs 25 and 23. It says, the north wind drive away rain, so doth an angry countenance a backbiting tongue. Okay, sometimes you can just look at a person, man, and just they'll fall back. It's like a stern look. People like, no, I don't want to fuck with this guy. He may knock my head off. You know, a lot of times, men of the Lord, we walk around with that stern look because they're just the mentality we had. They're just the hell we've been put through. It's like you are a product of your environment. Like in Minister Society, my boy Kane got shot the first time. She said, you look so mean. How about you smile? He said, the fuck I got to smile about? I mean, that was the realest shit. You land up in a hospital bed with a bullet in your goddamn shoulder. What the fuck I'm smiling for? You know, and that's the mentality. That's how we are. Like, I rarely smile at people, man. You know, it doesn't mean I'm angry with them. I just like, in my mindset, it's just like, it ain't really shit to smile about. I'm in hell. You know, we got out of order women. Shit, man, you damn near in debt. You know, you got to wake up and slave for Esau. I mean, it ain't really nothing to smile about on this setup outside the truth, for real. Anyway, but it says, it is better to dwell in the corner of the housetop than with the brawling woman and in the White House. So going back to this, a lot of times men have turmoils with women is because, hey, they can't pair bond with you. They've had too many different specimens inside them. Okay, a lot of them wasn't privy to this information until recently, but now it's coming out. So now what are you going to do about it? Those of you that this move on, are you going to repent and really pray to the Most High and get in line? Or are you going to say, fuck it, I'm going to still live the way I live? Your pill, your choice. You got the red pill, you got the blue pill. Choose wisely is all I can say. All right, because like I said, man, it's to the point that it's just like it's pointless at this time. And that's why most men that have money, they go down to the Philippines, they go to Malaysia, you know, they go to different parts of the world to find women. Like, I got a homeboy that I work with, man, cool Jake, you know, I like him, whatever. He knows about the truth. He got a woman, a Cambodian woman, man. Okay. Shit. She's very submissive from what I've seen, you know. I mean, I understand she probably don't dress the part, you know, because you're going to have women she's not, I ain't going to say she's righteous, but I mean, she's making him happy. He don't have any problems out of it. She fixes his lunch. You know, she's calling him every time she goes somewhere. You know, she calls him just to talk to him. Hey, baby, I'm here at the store. Such and such tried to talk to me and shit, you know, and I'm just letting you know this, man, so you can be enlightened by what happened. She, you know, she had the decency to tell her man that, but most of them, you know, they tell you shit like they don't even tell you what goes on when they leave the house. And then they leave you in the dark speculating, and then they wonder why you don't have any trust in them, you know, because they chose to keep it a secret. You know what I'm saying? Because most of them like that attention, but if I'm working with bro, you know what I'm saying? She's always calling him every so often. When she leaves the house, she calls him, and she has no problem with it. And he sounds so at peace when he talks to her. I mean, he literally cupcakes with her on the phone. He's like, hey, baby, how you doing? Making jokes and shit. You know, shit like that. That give countenance to a man's spirit that he can trust and confide in her like that. She ain't going to take out the trash without calling him first. But you know why? Because she said, I come from a family. And he told me this because I remember one time we was on lunch. I'm like, I'm finna go grab some tacos. He said, don't worry about it. My wife cooked some. She made a lot. Y'all, you come over here and get some. So I'm like, all right, shit, bet, cool. And, you know, like I said, she's not like any like a righteous woman or anything like that. But just the nature of her femininity, you know what I'm saying? As being a woman is still there to some degree. You know, of course, she dresses like a woman in the world. But, you know, I mean, he's not in the truth for real. And, you know, she don't know of the truth. But regardless of that, she's still trying to do right by this man. You know, he ain't got to look in her phone and find a dick picture. Or he ain't got to break up with her for 6 months and worry about how many dicks a rod's been climbing in out of her. You know what I'm saying? Shit like that. It don't happen that way. You see what I'm saying? And I mean, I'm like, shit, I'm happy for him. I'm like, at least you get that. I said, most of us don't even have that decency. And if we are dealing with that to some degree, there's always a fucking catch to it. Always. There's always a catch 22 somewhere. You know, because sooner or later, the shit they do is going to be brought back up. They're going to throw it in your face. But the fact you're a man of the Lord, any woman should be happy enough to just be in your presence, man. Especially when they don't have nothing to bring to the table as far as morality. Only thing you can cook and open your legs up, if that's all you got to offer, then it's like, what's your whole point? You can just deal with any woman that can do with that shit. You know, women have to submit and offer their souls to their husband, and that's not how it is over here. So, hey, I commend that brother. I'm happy for him. You know what I'm saying? I'm happy for him. I'm almost like to the point envious, because I'm like, damn, like I'm actually out here doing the work, and you know, it's like shit, like damn, like I'll pay for that shit, but you know, it is what it is. You know, and like I said, you got an exception to the rule. You got women out there that needs work. I get it. But then it's no excuse when you're dealing with a man of the Lord. If you're dealing with a man of the Lord and you're not coming correct, then there's no excuse. No matter what you do, there's no excuse for that. You know, and some of them be like, well, I don't know. Well, it's because you don't have faith. Our women, they don't believe we're prophets. They don't believe that. If a woman knew our importance on what we can and what we can't deal with, they knew our importance, they will actually subject themselves if they knew and believed in us, but they don't believe in us. If you're not bringing in money, you ain't making business moves, you ain't got a booming ass bank account, and you ain't driving a nice foreign whip, you know, you ain't wearing the fur chinchillas and shit, man, she don't believe in your ass, man. You're just a nigga that know a few Bible scriptures that's broke like everybody else, nigga. You don't deserve my submission. And that's the mindset they have, whether they come out and tell you that or not. Okay? Like, hey, sometimes actions speak louder than words. And another man, my man Jack Stack, he always say, hey, when a motherfucker open their mouth, they expose themselves. All the time, okay? But anyway, Salakia for the rant. But I got another precept here. Proves that you women, man, you are out of order. All right? So this is the book of Sirach 25 and 13. It says, give me any plague but the plague of the heart, and any wickedness but the wickedness of a woman, right? The plague of a mindset. When you're plagued in your mind, okay, it's hard to come back from that. You plagued with demons, you know, and you plagued in the mind of a woman, you do stupid shit. It says, but the wickedness of a woman, because all wickedness is little to her, okay? Going down, it says, there is no head above the head of a serpent, and there's no wrath above the wrath of an enemy. But I'd rather dwell with a lion and a dragon to keep house with a wicked woman. And this is what we're dealing with, man. Brothers have actually strong spirits to deal with women that's brought in children from another. And I'm not even talking about one child. One child, all right, it's probably doable to some degree. But you got brothers, man, that deal with women that have 4, 5, 6 kids, man. Like, I don't know how they did it, but you got to have a very, very strong spirit to be able to deal with that type of confusion. Because I'm going to tell you like this. Once you have all those kids by those different men, you're combating all those men. You're in league, and it's your spirit fighting those men in spirit. So a lot of time you wake up, you're like, the fuck wrong with this bitch? Like, she was just cool yesterday, now she bugging out. It's because she has all those spirits in her, man. And this is just the truth. And us being in this thing, we know this. Okay? Oftentimes people use our weaknesses and things we like to do in the flesh. You know what I'm saying? Drink, or some brothers may deal with harlots and all that other shit. I mean, all these women are harlots, but they use that to try to demean you. Are you like hoes? Well, shit, you a hoe too. Aren't you a harlot? Shit, what the fuck? Bring me a virgin. Shit, hey, if you bring me a virgin, I will gladly accept it and let's do it that way. I would gladly marry her if she's a virgin in her right mind. It's not rocket science. Simple, you know, but hey, it's hard to find it out here. So, hey, what we supposed to sit back and burn and just be stupid? Or, you know, brothers, they do what they do with a time, you know, let the time pass so they can stay occupied in the word. It's really about staying occupied in the faith, you know. But anyway, it says the wickedness of a woman changing her face and darker her countenance like sackcloth, that bipolar disorder, that borderline personality disorder. Hence, going back to this, man, okay, Chimerism and telegony. Okay, it says, and our husband should sit among all his neighbors, and when he heareth it, he should sigh bitterly. But all wickedness is but little wickedness to the wickedness of a woman. let the portion of a sinner fall upon her, man. So, hey, scripture say, seek not the pleasure of these women. Seek, don't seek them for their beauty. Because, I mean, nothing, you're not going to bring a problem. Just going to bring a problem to your life, man. And that's not saying you can't deal with women. Some brothers deal with them to pass the time. Because, like I said, we are men. A lot of brothers can't find a stable wife, and the wives they do have is not really bringing any type of peace to their life. Because you always got to hear her fucking problems. You always got to be the blame of everything that went wrong in her life. It's always your fault. But she don't even realize that she's blessed just being around you. But she's taking that for granted because she's coming at you with all this left hand shit. Well, you made me feel this way. Like, motherfucker, I'm a man of the Lord. I can piss on the goddamn floor and you better think that shit is sacred, man. And I'm just being real. A lot of you don't have any type of leverage to call us out on anything. We can be the most disgusting whatever. I can throw up in the bed from being overly intoxicated. That disgustingness is still more righteous than any righteous thing you've ever done. So you got to be real careful on how you come at these men. All right. But anyway, I'm going to end it there, giving all praises and glory and honor that's due to Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai. And with that, shalom and a baba ball.